Hi.
Hi, Matka.
Hi, Anna.
This is what technically would have been our season finale of my podcast, but it just got renewed. So there is no season finale. We continue next week. Thanks.
I'm so proud of you.
Thanks, Mom. I'm proud of you.
I always have been proud of you.
Oh.
Just my little superstar.
Oh.
Yes.
Well, we're going to get into all of that because I think that you're my little superstar. And before we get started, we have to do a couple things because welcome, everybody, to Anna's Guide podcast. I'm so happy that you're here. Today we're welcoming a very special guest, my mother, which you know from social media, you know her from the internet. We refer to her as Matka, which is mother in Polish.
Yes.
Is it like a spicy version of mother?
It's like a strict one.
Like an assertive?
Yes. Yeah.
Mother.
But like a, mean business mother.
Okay.
You can count on her. You can, rely on her. It's like the top-notch mother.
Okay.
Not like,
This is our top-notch mother. Yeah. Okay. So that's why we call her Matka. And she's on the podcast. Are you nervous?
I'm so nervous, but I'm so excited. Thank you for having me, by the way. Yes.
This feels like my first official guest for some reason because I feel like everybody else is little Michael's been on it and Danielle's been on it and Josh has been on it, but for such random reasons. I don't know why this one feels like an interview.
Because it's Matka.
Because it's Matka, because it means business.
Yes.
But the great news is that you're here. I'm lucky to have you as my mom and to have you as my guest.
Thank you.
And we're going to start with one of the little games that I play on my podcast. Have you listened to my podcast?
Yeah, quite a bit.
Oh, okay. A little bit? Okay. So the first thing, do you know the game that we do at the beginning?
No.
Okay, it's called Rosebud Thorn. Okay, where you tell me about your rose of the day, which is your great thing, your bud, which is something that you're looking forward to. It hasn't happened yet, but it's like a bud, like a flower bud. Oh. And then a thorn is what you get poked on. What's the bummer of the day.
Oh, okay.
So we'll both go, but you get to go first because you're the guest. You can start with either the best or the worst. Sometimes I like to start with
the best is that I'm gonna be packing my suitcases because I'm gonna come with you to Paris.
Okay, so that's the best part of your day.
Best part. I looked forward to it all day long. I was so excited. And last night, I have to confess, I maybe chose 100 outfits, and I supposed to bring only 4.
This is how I know we're related.
Yeah.
Because you should see, I did a fit check today where I had I swear I put 8 outfits in, and I have 14 different combinations. We're there for 2 days.
Oh, the same. So I'm I may be making changes of clothing 3 times a day.
That's what I was thinking. I think we should just do it for the plot, for the content.
Love that.
Okay, great.
Love that.
What's your bud of the day? What's something that you're looking forward to that hasn't happened yet?
Something that I'm looking forward to is I am so excited about your soup. You made a soup yesterday, and I was because you don't cook often for me, so I'm
I don't cook often at all.
You take me out all the time. You are great in taking me out and having fun with me, but this is gonna be first time that you made me a dinner and you brought it home. So I'm totally losing right now.
Yeah, I made Italian penicillin soup last night and drove it from LA to where my parents live, which was about a 2-hour drive earlier today. And thankfully the soup survived. I wrapped it every which way in saran wrap to keep it all put together to get it here. But
I love that.
We made it.
Well, I'm super excited. I want to warm it up and have a nice bowl of soup with you and just visit. And I'm looking forward to hearing what's going on, how excited you are about your trip. So that's my favorite.
Okay, love. And do you have a thorn?
Yes.
Okay.
I wore my new shoes and I got 2 scrapes on both of my feet. So
wait. The Sambas.
Yeah.
No, not the new Sambas.
Only because I thought, okay, I should have worn them with some really cute socks.
Yes.
But I decided on this really thin socks, and that's what I did it. I thought I needed better socks. Yeah.
How did the socks relate to scratching?
They're too thin. So that's why they rub my back of my feet.
Oh,
yeah.
Not that you got scrapes on the shoes. You got scrapes on your feet from the shoes.
Yeah.
Okay. This is okay. That makes me feel less bad
Yeah.
Because
No,
I was
the
worried
shoes
that
are
you
perfect.
I was worried that you bumped your new shoes, and like, you know how like when you buy a fresh white pair of shoes and then you suddenly get like a
Yeah.
scuff on them the first day you wore 'em? That's what I thought you were saying happened. Like you're walking around like the boys' side or something and you like greased both sides of your shoes.
Don't worry. I made sure everybody stayed 3 feet away from
Great.
me.
No
with
one
my
crushed
new
the toe. You're
shoes.
like,
Yep, they're my
these
new ones.
don't touch them.
Yep.
Hi, Oliver.
And I made sure I told everybody that I have a matching pair with Anna.
Oh, love.
Hi,
Also,
Oliver.
if you're watching the video portion of this podcast, you will catch a small dog that's going to wander in and out of the episode because he gets a little jealous when we're recording and talking to each other and not talking to him. So if you see this, this is Oliver. This is our family dog. I don't know if you can see. You can see his tail in all the shots, but he will be sitting with us for a majority of the episode probably. Dang, I'm sorry that you hurt your feet. That's always a bummer.
But they're going to be fine. They're going to be
We'll
fine.
bandage them up.
Yeah, I already put the bandage on it, feeling better. But I was a little bummed that this happened because I know we're going to be
walking a lot
around Paris
Yeah.
and visiting. We love always see things. So,
Yeah.
and you love taking me places. So I have to be in full fit, ready to walk. And
We're fast walkers. We're a fast walking family. So,
so I'm super
Amazing.
excited about that.
okay. Love.
Awesome.
Easy. Okay.
What is your thorn and what is your rose and what is your bud?
Let's see. Okay, my rose
Mm-hmm.
is that I got to see my first cut of the short film that I acted in. My first acting
Do I get
moment.
to see it
Yeah, I'll
too?
show it to you after this.
Oh,
You and I get to sit and like watch it. It's kind of scary though.
So I have two buds now.
Okay,
Soup
yeah,
and
you're
a
looking
movie.
forward to a movie. Well, I'm like kind of nervous though because it's like I'm a murderer. I kill
That's
someone.
so not you.
No, and it's so not me that like I've watched it already and it like feels weird because it doesn't look like me.
Wow.
You know,
I
and
can't
like
wait
that's
to
like
see
kind of a
it.
weird like phenomenon of like the acting space. I always feel like I see myself in the characters that I play or like what I've auditioned for. And in this one I saw myself in her personality a little bit, but not in her like antics.
Oh wow.
And so like seeing myself be that person, I was like, what? So
so not you.
so not me. So that was one moment. My bud, I think, is going to Paris. I think that's
I
gonna be like
love
the best
that.
part. And I'm going to a wedding in Michigan after. So I feel like I always get excited. I love. I love going
Do you
and
have
watching.
the dress already?
No, I think we have to shop for it in Paris.
Oh, that's gonna be so
Oh
much
no.
fun.
You and I have to go shopping in Paris together for a dress.
Trouble.
I do have a couple dresses, but I always worry like, is there a rule about how scandalous you're allowed to wear a dress at a wedding?
You know, I expect the best from you, knowing your, coverage.
Oliver,
The
dog.
come on
See,
now.
I like there's a
know.
couple dress
Yeah.
like there's this dress that I own that I'm really excited about that has like cutouts on the hips. Is that too scandy?
No. No.
You would think that's acceptable for a wedding?
Nice. If you will know.
Matka's spicy.
It's not about just being spicy. It's some things cross the line and they're not elegant. Sometimes you can have dress that has cutouts, but it's so elegant and nicely done. I think it's just perfectly fine
Okay.
to wear it.
Okay, so maybe
You
I'll
know?
send you pictures tonight of my two dress
I love
options.
that.
Because
Yeah.
I also have the one that like has a
Yeah.
cutout in the circle in the middle. Do you know the one that I just showed you that I got from Cult Gaia?
Yeah.
That is like the black
Yeah.
heart shape with the circle.
So
I kind of want to wear
beautiful.
that one too. So
So beautiful.
it's a black tie
And you
wedding.
know-
So I feel like a black, but Josh is wearing a blue suit, a navy blue suit with a black.
All that I have to say to this is you have incredible body. Enjoy it now because it doesn't last forever.
What are you
Yeah.
talking about?
No. I'm just saying, like, there's a time that you're not going to feel like wearing this kind of dresses.
Okay.
Now is the time.
That's
you
fair.
know?
I can get
Enjoy
behind that.
yourself and wear a beautiful dress.
Okay, fine. I'll wear a beautiful dress, but also we're gonna go shopping anyway.
I love that.
And then my thorn.
I'm going to get you a dress that head to toe coverage with a hoodie.
Great. What is my thorn? That I have to drive back home tonight, I think.
Oh, that's always such a bummer.
Yeah.
I think that's the only thing, living a little bit apart that we have to drive back and forth to
Yeah.
see each other.
I think that's like the one tough thing is like sometimes that drive can be an hour and sometimes that drive can be 2.5 hours. And like today was 2.5 and it was just like,
And bumper to bumper traffic.
yeah,
you know?
exactly.
Because if it's 2.5 hours through beautiful trees and, fall and pumpkin.
I mean, I took the
fields and-
PCH today. So like I
That
kind of
was
had a good
lovely.
drive. Like I had a pretty decent like
That's
up the
beautiful.
coast But still, it was like a lot of traffic, a lot of accidents. But anyway, that's all.
Well, I can't wait to see that movie. Now I can't think of anything else. I'm
About
like,
the movie.
yes.
I
Yeah.
always thought that you would maybe be an actress one day in your like life.
Oh, that was my dream.
I feel like was it really? What was your dream when you were a kid? What was
I
like your
wanted to be-
dream?
When I was very low, back in kindergarten, a teacher asked, what do you want to be when you grow up? And some kids stood up, raised their hand, and they want to be a doctor, they want to be a nurse, and mailman, all this, all that. And I had my hand up high, and I jump out of my chair. I want to be a mother. I always thought that's like the most important job.
It is the most important job.
I love that. So when I was little, I wanted to be a mother. When I was a teenager, you're going to laugh at this. And
I'm ready. I can't wait.
Don't know about this. I wanted to be Madonna.
That also doesn't shock me at all.
I thought I have it going on. I want to do that. I could not sing at all.
So I know who I got it from.
Oh, stop. Your voice is incredible.
My mom is the only reason I think I can sing is because my mom asks me to religiously. She gave me false confidence that it's like this.
I love your singing. I love how you play piano. I know you need to share this with others. It is incredible.
Thanks,
you
Mom.
move me when you sing.
Oh.
Yeah, I love
That
love
might
when
be
you
your
sing.
job to say that.
No, it's not. No, it's not.
That's so cute. Okay, well, I think it's kind of crazy. Where did you go to kindergarten?
Oh,
Do you want to share where like
Yes,
any of this? That's my soft way of asking, like, mother, where are you from? Tell me about your life. How did you get here?
I was born in Poland, and later on I moved to Germany, and from Germany I emigrated here to United States.
Okay. I love
that.
What did you come here for?
First and foremost, I wanted to learn English. So I thought if I come here and immerse myself in the culture and be with Americans, that
Like English
my
speakers.
English is gonna be perfect. And so that was my a goal. I was pretty good in languages, but not very, very good. So I thought this is gonna help me really be good in speaking English. And but then the language of love happened.
Oh,
And
no.
I met your father.
Oh, no.
Yes. So, I met your dad, and that was such a fun evening. I don't know if you know how I met your dad.
I know how you met my dad, but you can
Okay.
tell the story if you'd like to tell everybody else how you met my dad.
Oh, this is such a cute story.
Okay.
So, I was already in bed, and one of my girlfriends that we kind of were really good friends and hang together, and we took care of each other. She called me late at night and asked me for a ride. She was in a bar drinking, and she needed me to pick her up. So I told her, no problem. I'm going to go in my pajamas in the car and go pick her up. And she needs to come up to the parking lot because I didn't want to get dressed up and go and find her. And remember, those days there was no cell phones. So everything was just regular phone. You made a plan and you stick with it. So I was picking her up in a parking lot. And in my pajama, bunny slippers, short pixie haircut.
The cutest haircut.
Yes, thank you. I went to pick her up, and I'm sitting and waiting and waiting and waiting. She's coming out of the bar, and she's pulling this guy to my car, and I'm thinking to myself, oh no, I don't even have a bra on. Okay?
Oh, no.
Yes. Yeah.
What are we going to do?
What am I gonna do? No makeup, no bra, in my pajama. I'm thinking, I'm so mad that she's doing this. And she pulled this guy to my car, and she said, oh, you have to meet him. He's so nice. So I stick my hand out the window, say hello
You're
to
like,
him.
hi, how's it going?
Yep, got
Nice
in
to
the
know
car.
you.
Yep, drove away, hoping I never see this person ever again, because I was so embarrassed that, I wasn't...
Just to the nines.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. As I should be in the middle of the night.
In the middle of the night at 3 a.m. when you're picking up
Yes.
somebody from the bar.
Yes. So went home. A few days later, went back out with my girlfriends. This time I was all dressed, cute outfit, cute skirt, nice makeup, hair in right places, and girls. Oh, sorry.
Oh,
In the right
not the
place
girls.
too. walk into the bar, and there he is. And he recognized me with,
Who would have thought?
yeah, came right over, and we start talking, and I did most of the talking. I thought to myself, I got this. I got this. I had it
It's in the
going
bag.
on. Yep.
You're like, I know I have like a cute little accent. He's gonna
Yes.
think I'm like exotic after out of this
Yes.
world. He's never met a girl like me.
Exactly.
Yep.
So I thought, I got this. Visiting with him, amazing. We became really good friends, and we would go skiing together, fell in love, got married. 6 months after we were married, we had our first little fight. And when I first time met him, something really appealed to me. He was a great listener. And when we had our first fight,
I love when men stop talking.
yeah.
No. Okay. She goes, I just love when they let me be myself and do my own thing. Tell
Yes.
me.
So I'm crying, and I said to your dad, why can you be the same way like the first night we met? You listened to every word I said. And he looked at me and he said, woman, I didn't understand one word you said. And I was in shock because I realized, he was just there for the looks.
No, he wasn't.
No, just
Not
kidding.
for the brain.
Yes.
All men canceled for
thought to
forever.
myself,
Starting with my
yeah,
father.
I have a lot of work to do to, figure out how I'm going to communicate with this man. But, 32 years later, we're
Still
still
married.
married. We have incredible 3 kids. You are our middle one.
The middle kid.
Yeah. And I don't know if I ever told you this. And I always felt you were my baby, because when Delfina was born, your sister, everybody wanted Delfina, and everybody was hands-on and wanted to visit with her and play with her. And when you were born, I was like, nope, I'm not sharing. She is mine.
Only for
She
you.
is all mine.
I love
and
that.
I baby you. And so many times at night, I would get up to see you at night and take care of you and change you. And I would sit for hours and just look at you. And you would like look at me and play. And there were hours just you and me at night.
I was deep down the favorite.
Yes. Yeah. No, sorry. She
said yes.
I have 3 favorites, but
Yeah.
you are really special.
Every
to me.
mother's
Yeah.
answer.
But it's kind of funny because the first baby you have to share. Delfina was like first.
Also, like the first,
granddaughter.
my dad has
Yeah.
5 siblings and no one
Exactly.
else had kids. So
Yeah.
like at the time, at least.
Exactly. Middle of the night, especially you and me, slumber parties
Yeah.
every night. And you were up every single night just to say hi to me and visit with me. It was just so much fun.
So I've been sleepless since day one.
Yeah,
Awesome.
pretty much.
Good.
Pretty much.
Was it tough? I think like the first thing I think of too, I mean, like I love your love story with Dad. I think it's so cute because it's just like organic. Like people don't meet like that as much anymore. You know, like it's so much like there's apps, there's social media. Like even the way that I met Brew was like we had known of each other through the internet first.
Yeah.
You didn't have that kind of like accessibility when you first moved here. Was that like scary? Like you didn't know anybody when you moved to the US.
Now when I think about it, I'm like, oh my gosh. But then it was just so normal, so natural. You just enjoy your life. And many times, I'm from Europe, so I travel quite a bit. You travel through Europe. I traveled to United States. That was my second trip to United States. So, and it was, I trusted that everything is gonna be okay, and you meet people and you have a good feeling about it. And I surrounded myself with good friends, and through those friends I met nice people, and little bit by little bit I had a great group of people that I felt safe with it. And
That you like kind of created your
Yeah.
own sense of community when you were here.
And I think, I don't know, also maybe because hearing like that daddy was in the Navy, and so I had respect for him for that, because he's serving his country. And so to me that was really important and kind of nice. I thought he was a incredible
Like a
man.
respectable guy to be able
Yeah.
to meet in public. It doesn't
Yes.
feel as
Yeah.
scary when it's like
Yeah.
someone who you can kind of trust right off the bat.
Yeah. That there must be something special about this
Respectable about
Yeah.
this man.
guy.
Well, I think another question I have for you is, do you know why I wanted to have you on the podcast at all?
No, tell
No?
me.
I mean, do you have any guesses? Do you want to try guessing first?
Because I'm Matka.
Okay, also valid. That's also
Yes.
fair.
You want to advise on
I'm very curious to see how that sentence ends.
uh, actually I forgot English.
No. Okay, advice on what? What do you think?
No, I thought maybe you want to advise on something.
Okay. No, I want it because you're so smart and you're so like inspirational.
Thank you.
And because I think that you're cool.
I love that. Thank you so much. I don't think I'm cool, but
I think you're cool.
I'm so
Why don't you think
thankful.
you're cool?
I never even think about that. I don't, like, this is so weird. I don't think if I'm cool or not cool, or I'm just go through every day.
You're just you.
I'm just me.
Okay.
I truly, sometimes when I catch myself, I do live in a moment.
Yeah.
I get happy in a moment. I get excited about soup. I get sad in a moment. Like, I live in a moment. You know, I don't, and I try not to be hard on myself.
Yeah. I think that like thinking you're cool and things like that comes from like the consideration of other people's judgment. Do you think that do you think you have like, have you heard of like what imposter syndrome is? Do you know what that is or no?
Yeah.
Like when you walk in a room and you're nervous.
Yeah.
Do you think you have that at all or no?
None at all.
Okay. Would you consider yourself an extrovert or an introvert? Do you know what that is?
Yes.
Okay.
So I love being by myself doing things, but I also really like being with people.
Yeah.
So there are times
a little bit of both.
Yeah, a little bit of both. That I'm okay to be by myself, and I love quilting. So then I'm like, yeah, I love hiking, yeah, but also love being with people and doing things with
and like sharing those things with people.
And that's why I think I do quilting.
Yeah.
And that's why kind of started as a hobby for me and end up sharing with others, and it turned into a business. But but it's
Yeah.
just love being with others, but also I'm okay being by myself.
I like that. Like, okay, I think the reason even all of us kids or myself particularly have like this skill of multitasking. Like, I never feel like I only liked one thing. You know, like I always feel like I liked a little bit of like everything.
Yeah.
Like I liked school, and so I want to be a teacher, but I also liked working on cars with dad, so I want to be an engineer. But then I also liked arts and crafts, and I liked video making, and none of my passions ever overlapped. I think I got it from you because you also like that. You multitasked, like motherhood and being like a full-time business owner. Was that difficult?
Yes, there are challenges to everything, but when I started it and the MOA I had on my plate, it felt easier. Sometimes and also I think because I was really into a schedule. I think having a schedule and having a kids that have schedule allows you to do so much more. The minute you don't put a schedule, then you're like, oh, I do this later. Oh, I can do this. And then you don't do things. When you have to do stuff and you have a schedule.
You're like, I have to get this done. I have no choice but to finish it.
Because I only have 20 minutes. I want to get the most out of this time. You know, I think many times we find ourselves thinking about it, but not going for it.
Yeah.
And I honestly never thought about it. I never made a big deal out of it.
Yeah.
When there was a task, I just went and did it and did it and did it and did it, and I built it up on it. I never, there were moments that I looked at like, oh, I have house, I have kids, I have to make a dinner. I looked at one task at a time, went for it, did it, and then moved to the next one because that way I didn't get overwhelmed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that makes sense.
And
I feel like I don't know if I got that quality from you. I feel like I get a little bit lazy.
Think you do. No. I've been with you. You are not at all. I think you put me into shame. You are one of the hardest working people I've ever met. Yes, you are. And I have to tell you, I think the difference maybe between us is that I didn't have a backup plan. If I didn't do it or something didn't happen or
if you didn't succeed,
there was nobody coming to rescue me, or I didn't have family here, my family, like my mom and dad, to count on. I had daddy's family, grandma and grandpa,
Yeah.
to count on, but so I think I was very independent from very, very young age, and I counted on myself, and I knew that if I don't do this, it's not happening. So I want to do it for
It's kinda
myself
scary.
and you kids.
I'm sorry, I felt like you had to be alone on that though.
No, I made little people like you and Dovina and Michael, and then I wasn't alone anymore.
No, okay.
Yeah,
Easy.
and I have daddy. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, but it makes you strong if you, believe you can do it, you go for it, and makes you very strong.
Do you think you still would have succeeded in what you did if you did have more of like a built-in like community, like in your family being here? Like I think about what I do for work, and like if the day comes where I ever have kids, like I have no doubt that you'll be there through the whole process.
Oh my
do you
gosh.
think that makes the? Do you think that makes that would have? I don't know. Do you think that would have not? I'm not gonna say hinder your success, because I think either way, like everyone has a. I kind of have the belief that everybody has like a trajectory, and so like you're gonna achieve it either now or later, whether you want to or not. But
I agree. But I think if you have support, no matter which kind of support it is, if it's just a friend that supports you, or a parent, or this neighbor that here or there brings you once a week a meal and say hello to you. And sometimes we're looking for this, and this person gonna do all this for me. I don't think the world is made with, there isn't, not often that somebody comes in and like completely helps you,
can fix all of your issues.
But if you are surrounded yourself, or if you look for those little bits and pieces, little drops of help, and it could be that neighbor that picked up your mail and put it on your doorstep, or could be this person that opened the door for you.
I do think you had that a lot, like as a kid. Like I remember like some of your like built-in friends, like
exactly. So
Miss Martha, Mr. George, and like the like people who would like watch us after school or something if something got delayed or there was an appointment. Or
But it's even sometimes, and this is why I want to make the point that it's how important it is that we support others, and that way hopefully the world gets to be a better place and we get some support. And I'm not talking a big thing. I'm thinking, letting that person go first in a bus. And guess what? Because of that, this person wasn't late for the interview, and now they got a job. Look at, that's a support. Like we already have tough lives, so why not help each other just tiny bit? And I think I was lucky. I live in a small city, Marshall. You guys will live there, and there were a lot of nice, kind people, and everybody was supporting each other. And this idea of, it takes a village, it truly did in some incredible, wonderful way.
Was there a reason that you guys chose? Because you had, like, I feel like by the time we were born and, like, growing up, you guys had kind of, we had gone back and forth a little bit between Pennsylvania and Michigan. But even prior to that, I mean, you and a kind of crazy fact is my mom and dad met out here in California, actually, in Northern California. And before that, you obviously like lived in Germany and lived in Poland. Like, what was that like growing up there? Was there anything like growing up in Poland and growing in Germany that you knew when you came to the States that you would have wanted to raise kids here versus there? Or no, was it really just based off of like dad and citizenship and like, what made sense at the time for your partner?
There is, I often thought of that. And when you have children, when you make a family, no matter where you are in the world, the packet that you create for your family, I'm gonna call it the little nest, it is extremely important. And my nest would have been exact the same if I have you guys in Poland, if I had you in Germany, if I have you in another country someplace, on an island someplace. Because it is, and notice how we spend time with each other, we play, we had neighbors, we went out.
We lived on 10 acres of land in the middle of nowhere though still. Like it still was our like built-in little community, our own like little group.
But it's so important, and I think no matter where we would have ended up, I would have been the same mother to you. I would have been the same,
but that's what I mean, is like, do you think the
loving
location changes that? Like I always think about Michael getting to do high school in California versus like me or Delfino, who like when we were in Michigan, we did our like high school and college in Michigan. Do you think that changed Michael's trajectory?
I think in a little bit, and
But you
there's
also think he
yeah.
ended up exactly where he would
But
have been.
anywhere in the world you could have pluses and minuses. So um, you find the best way for your children and you to be able to survive, support. Daddy works so hard. I work so hard to make sure that we have, you know, day to day nice life and able to give you things that we were not able to get. But the most important that we give you the time and the love.
Mm-hmm.
And it was important for that I would be home with you and take
Mm-hmm.
care of you. And there was no question for me that that's what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
Not everybody can do it, and
Yep.
that's okay because you have to do to pay your daily bills.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think you find yourself, no matter if you would be not suddenly on an island, you find yourself creating your little pocket, your little family, your little, if you are with the right person. I would have loved your dad if we would been on a moon
Yeah.
the same way that I love him here on earth. And yeah, I'm not gonna cry.
No, you're getting teary. I was just thinking, I was like, okay, that's very
Yeah.
beautiful. I feel like I was not really sure what I was thinking this episode was going to be, but now the more that we're talking about it, it's like kind of like Anna's Guide to Motherhood, which is like actually Matka's Guide to Motherhood. It's like
Oh no.
asking you all the questions about it, but like, I mean, they're all like thoughts and questions. I think about, obviously, I have the best mom on the planet, so it's hard to compete with like thinking about that and having to be a mother on my own one day and whatnot. But like, I think it's like a big question for even my generation is like, raising kids right now is scary.
Mm-hmm.
Raising kids right now is expensive. It's like obviously such a different dynamic. I just saw like this stat that was like our parents making $80,000 is equivalent to us making $262,000 a year.
Yeah.
Like that's how much like inflation is. So like having a kid means like you have to be minimum making like $250,000 a year to have the same lifestyle as what our parents had.
Yeah.
So like there's so many elements of like raising us that I think about, and especially one of them is like raising a kid in LA. If you were to go back and like, do you think you would raise a kid in LA? Do you think I should raise my kids in LA?
You can raise your kids anywhere.
It goes back to that, like making your pocket.
Making your pocket, and goes back into
That
the
scares me.
household, and again in the house, parents and children communicating and talking about it, and you have the most beautiful eyes.
Oh my
my
God. Are we getting sidetracked?
Yes,
I wonder who I got them from.
Your blue sweater, they're so blue
I feel bad
right
because
now.
I'm looking at my camera. I think my lighting is better than your lighting.
That's what's wrong with my eyes. The lighting.
No, shut up. That's not at all. That's not right.
But we're talking about just talking, communicating, and making choices for yourself. It's okay to say no sometimes to things. Like, how you feel when you drink, and saying no to alcohol. It's,
I don't know what tangent we just went on, but I don't know. I agree.
Yeah.
I mean, I think so too. I just always wonder, like, the whole, like, I think that you, like, live so many lifestyles and you live so many. Yeah. I think about that too, where I think even as a family, we've lived so many lifetimes, it feels like at times. We've gone through so many different eras. Like, we had, like, living in Michigan. We had, your business growing for the first time. Like, I remember that in, like, early high school, like, dad coming home to work, and that being, like, a part of my childhood was, like, having both my parents at home. I would love to have you back on the podcast at some point to talk more about, like, your business and more of that. But right now I'm really loving talking to you about your life and motherhood and your goals and dreams and aspirations. What do you want to be when you grow up? Talking about our lifetimes. If you could design your next era of your life, what would it look like?
When you said this, it totally, I had a pictures in front of me, like me, the teenager, pretending and trying to figure out who I want to be. Like, I was making fun of it. I want to be Madonna. But then, finally being a young woman and getting dressed and this and that, and you like in that kind of era, then being a mother and no longer, I did not care about dresses and high heels. All that I want is snuggle my children. Like, you change, the chemistry in you changes to do those things. And then wanting to have something of my own, even that my husband took care of me and we had a beautiful life, I wanted to do something and build a little business, and the business grew. And I wasn't even looking at the money. It was just the satisfaction of having something that I
almost like another baby.
Yeah, almost. Yeah, because you have to take care of it. And then you guys graduating, going on your own, it's completely different life because I'm like, now I can really put some time into the business and make it grow even more
Yep.
and wait for the next stage in my life. So you ask me what I want to
What
do.
would be the next one?
The next one, there's no pressure.
Oh God, I don't know why.
You know
I
what
even
I'm
asked
gonna
this
say.
question because I
You-
literally just saw it in your eyes with going, no pressure. Grandmother. That's what she's
Yes.
going to say.
I want
don't
to
even
be
need
a babcia.
she No, you need okay.
No, so yes, but there is one.
She's preying on birth control's downfall right now.
No, there's one thing that I would love to do, except running my business. If I could stop for a moment and truly be an artist, like don't worry
Oh.
about anything, be just pull up canvases, and I have bunch of them, and I'm waiting for that moment that I could just paint.
What would you
paint. I have all these visions
Oh,
in my head.
okay.
Let me tell you about
I'm ready.
this.
I read my mom my first script that I'm working on right now. And not my
Wow.
first, but like the one that I'm most excited to be
It's
writing.
incredible.
We are like 25 minutes into the movie, and my mom is mad because there's no ending, and obviously there's no ending. I haven't invented it yet.
Please.
But so, what would you be painting? Now it's your turn. What's this gonna be?
What I would be painting is I have a vision of a blue sky and a white airplane,
Oh,
but the sky would be in a shapes of quilting shapes. Like in the sky, it's like a blue, but in some way they're shapes
like triangles and
triangle,
squares. And
square, diamonds, and different shapes.
so it's like
collage.
a quilted of the sky.
Quilt in a
If
sky.
anybody rips off this idea, I will find you and I will drag you on the internet.
Oh,
Do not
that-
steal my mother's
just
ideas.
have fun with it. Yeah.
I was ready to go to war over this idea, remaining your
Oh.
intellectual property, and I will. Okay,
Thank
tell me
you.
more.
So that's kind of, that's what in my head. I don't know
Yeah.
why. I keep thinking about painting all different beautiful things.
Okay, so
The
what's stopping
sky,
you?
The, where the business is very busy right now.
A blessing and a curse.
Exactly. So that is the thing. When you think you are a business owner, the business own you. The business
Do you
is
consider
like,
us workaholics as a family?
I don't think so. I think we're extremely driven, and we just don't like to wait. So we do it ourselves.
Okay.
Yeah. So I think that is what we are. And I never thought I work. Every time I do something, it is so much freaking fun that I don't even feel it I work. When I make a quilt, I don't feel I'm working, And even when I'm writing pattern, there's some stuff that I could do without it in a business. But like the stuff that I do, design fabrics or quilt or make a new project, design new project, all of that doesn't feel like work at all. I
Yeah.
could get up. There's morning that I get up. I have it in my head. I start dreaming. It wakes me up, and I have to get up and start doing it because I really want to get it out of me and make that next incredible quilt. So, painting, making few more like quilts that are beyond and above, and then patiently waiting for that final job of
Babcha.
snuggling a little one and spending endless minutes and hours and playing and I think that's why I pay attention to what I eat and exercise and stuff because I want to be in the best possible shape because I'm planning to be like
The babcha on the go.
the babciana go. Yeah. That when my grandkids ask me, I'm jumping to do stuff and wanting to, hike and canoe and this and that and play, and I'm not afraid to do anything. Go
Yeah.
down the slide.
Okay. I have one last question for you before we
Yes.
wrap up this episode, and then we can kind of wrap it up however we want to.
Aw.
But this is a question because I feel like you tapped into something that is interesting that I think I often get like asked through my own comment section since I don't even have the answer for it. But you work in a creative space similar to me, and it's not something that I
Yeah.
really had to navigate before. I think I used to feel closer to the way that you felt, like when I lived at home during COVID and stuff, like making videos. I feel like I jumped out of bed with new ideas, and sometimes lately I feel like the sense of burnout, like I feel like
Yeah.
the sense of like sometimes I just don't even have a thought in my brain. And then it's hard to be creative when like you have nothing that's making you feel really like inspired or excited. Or sometimes like you don't know why you don't feel so excited to jump out of bed and make up these ideas.
Yeah.
Do you ever feel that? Like, I feel like, I mean, I'm just going to say it's like my mom's been doing her business for like
20 years.
20 years.
Yeah.
You've been creative and successful in it for 20 years. Like, how do you not get worn out from like...
I don't know. I am so thankful that the ideas keep coming and keep going. I am just like, the only thing that I have a problem with it, that not all of them come to life. That to me is so defeating, where I can make something that I have it in my brain and I get frustrated with it, that I couldn't release this creative process and get it out there.
Yeah.
So that kind of, it's a little bit of a bummer, but I also take care of myself. Not always I have creative ideas. So when they are coming, I keep writing them down and I save them for myself. So that way, when I don't have any, I go look at my drawing and I'm like, oh, I'm back. I'm so inspired. I can do it. And also there are days that on purpose, I keep refilling myself. It is so important. And I don't know if I keep telling you this, it's like drinking water. Just like you take a glass of water every day, you should every day look at a beautiful book, go for a walk, do this, do that. Just take a moment. And I promise you, you asked me just now, like, why don't you just stop and do paint? I'm going to.
Yeah.
Why am I not doing it?
Yeah.
It's, I think it's being a little bit afraid. Does it gonna come out because it's gonna be something different than I ever done it?
Yeah.
So being just tiny bit afraid doesn't gonna come out the way I imagine. So that's maybe I'm finding excuses. No more excuses.
Yeah.
I'm quitting my job tomorrow.
Okay. That's not really how that works.
No, I'm just kidding. No, I'm gonna find more time to start doing the things that I like have it in my mind.
My last little extension of this, just because I think like it's my generational question is, do you think that social media has an effect on people in my generation being too comparative and that being a halter? Like when I see somebody else doing something well, I think that it's like hindering mine or something. Or like, do you think just spending time on social media is removing me from the ability to find creativity in everyday life?
I think it's the time.
Yeah.
It's the time because and you find yourself getting too much inspiration,
in your head.
idea, and I go through the same thing. I have an Instagram. I go through the same thing, that sometimes I want to sit down and do something, and instead of me being creative, and guess what? I'm like, stop this. And I put my phone away and I jump into sewing, and it brings me so much joy to make something,
Yeah.
So I think it's training yourself and getting yourself to be more creative and be aware of it.
Yeah.
I think that's part of it. What do you think
about that?
Yeah. I love to hear this. And by the way, Anna, every time I ask you a question, we were talking on our way home today. I learned so much from you. Thanks. Where did you get all of this?
You.
But I don't know those answers. I ask you and you have this answer.
I spend a lot of time alone. No, I don't know. I think a part of me really wishes that I studied more psychology. I actually think I really enjoy like trying to understand why my brain works the way that it does. Mm-hmm. But at times I think that like hinders me. I feel like what I really struggle with is I become over analytical of the decisions that I'm making. And like, I think the moment that I started focusing on, like for me, it was an interesting thing where my career came, like when you started your business, like you always liked quilting, but I don't know. I think you saw correct me if I'm wrong too. I think you saw like a hole in an industry and you filled it with something. Like a combination of your creativity and also your business sense. And like that's how your business came to be. I think that you saw like room for growth. Like you, in my opinion, I didn't know what e-commerce was until you were doing it. You saw a hole in the ability to spread the like purchasing and buying and selling, and how do you share an idea without giving other people the idea and the credit for the idea that's been made.
Yeah.
Okay. Which you can check out Laundress Quilts if you want to see what my mom does.
Oh, thank you.
But also, I was gonna say that I think, like, for me at least, my hole that I had wasn't something in an industry, it was in myself. So by filling it, like, with making my videos and then that becoming my career, it changed the pressure of me having to, like, I wasn't curing myself, like curing the part of my brain that didn't feel understood or seen or, like, noticed, with making videos. And then when that becomes what makes you money, or, like, the only way that you really, like, find success. I mean, I've had success in so many other elements that there's, of course, in tomorrow I could send out my resume for engineering, and I don't doubt that I could get a job in engineering. I could send out my resume for film and television production, and I don't doubt I could get a job in that. But, like, I have backups, but of course my life right now is the focus of, like, film and TV, making my videos on social media, getting into the acting space, writing my scripts. And for a while that was my creative outlet. And now that is, like, my financial burden as well, you know? Yeah. And it's, sorry if this is getting confusing, but it's this difficult thing of, I made the videos to self-express myself. And if people don't like what I make, then I feel like they don't like me.
Who would not like you? Who wouldn't like you?
I don't know, Mom. That's what I'm navigating in therapy.
You are the nicest
That's what I go to
ever.
once a week. No, it's, like, a difficult thing, though, where I think, like, there's an element where, like, I think for me, at least, where I feel burnout is the sense of, like, it's me on the internet.
Yeah. Because I think.
So if they don't like the piece of my heart that I'm showing, then, like, they don't like me.
But it's maybe also misunderstanding, you know? Because when you say, when we say something on the internet, it's not that personal connection, and you can misunderstand one word for a different word, and it's the exact same word.
Oh, you think the reason people don't like me is because they misunderstand me?
Yeah, they misunderstand you. You are the sweetest, the kindest. I know you.
Thanks, Mom.
I know you for a long time, so I know that there is impossible not to like you. And we talk about this many times, and
you can't compare yourself to other people. When people are trying to bring you down, you just swim faster.
Exactly. You don't want to waste.
Why spend your life trying to drown other people when you could just swim faster?
Exactly. I'm so glad you remember. And, I have to do that too. Yeah. There are days that I feel, some feelings, and I'm like, I'm going to put my energy to confront this person, explain it to them, convince them. That's not our job. I'm gonna swim, I'm gonna backstroke, I'm gonna go far, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna splash in my own little, water, and keep going and keep going and keep going, like a little ducky,
A ducky?
Yeah.
You chose duck over fish?
Oh, no.
I like duck better than fish.
Yeah. Because you really don't.
I just was expecting you to say fish because I was thinking of Finding Nemo.
Oh, Dory.
I know you love Dory.
Yes. Oh, I love movies. That's another thing I'm gonna love about being grandma. I'm gonna get to see all of the.
Also, you're gonna get to see, like, someone else experience movies for the first time.
Yes. But
I'm obsessed.
Yeah.
That like, it makes me want to write kids movies for the kids that I have. You know what I mean? Wow. Like, I would love to be like, I make their animated movies that they watch, and then it's like, hee Mom did that.
But first you have to finish the script, because I'm waiting for the remaining parts of it. I can't stand it. This isn't even fair.
No, it's good.
Yes.
No, like, I'm not even trying to, like, blow smoke up my own ass. I'm like, I'm popped off with that.
So good. I can't wait. I'm like, please. I almost called
Honestly, guys, I'm a comedian. Let's be so for real right now. I don't think I've ever been funnier than when I'm loopy on a flight and writing a script, and somehow I think I'm hilarious.
It's so good. So good. Thanks, almost Mom. Called you in the morning, like,
did you have another idea? My mom also pitched multiple times what she thinks the ending should be.
I want you to tell me what your idea was, because I want to, in my brain, finish the story, and I'm so excited. So,
well, I'm so happy that you were here, and I'm so excited that you came from my podcast.
Oh,
I love you so much.
I love you too, sweetheart.
Thanks for being on my podcast.
Thank you for having me.
Of course.
I'm so proud of you.
Thanks.
So proud of you.
Well, we did it.
Aw.
That's a wrap, guys, on Anna's Guide with Matka. What would you name this episode if you had to name it? Anna's Guide to blank. Fill in the blank.
Anna's Guide to Next Step in Life.
Oh.
Yeah, because they ask me, what is the next thing?
Okay.
And, you know, like, you have your next thing, I had my next thing, and I'm going to walk away from it, and I hope everybody else going to be like, what am I going to do next?
I want you guys to all think about that this week.
Yeah.
That's your homework. I want you to walk away from this episode thinking, what's my next thing in life? What's your next era going to be? And how are you going to live it? How are you going to plan it even if you don't know what you're doing? What's the first step you're going to take towards your next era?
Yeah, I'm doing it. Even if it's a tiny little step, but I have to.
We might need to have a part 2 of this while we're in Paris together in a week.
I love that.
Maybe we pick up where we left off.
I would love that. We can talk more about business.
Okay,
I
deal.
love that.
That's the next thing. Anna's Guide to Business. Okay.
No, just like, you know, how did I start my business?
Exactly.
I think it's,
entrepreneurial. Yeah.
especially you and me together, because you are incredible businesswoman.
Oh,
Yes, you are.
not me.
Yeah, you have all the advices, and so many times I call you and Delphina are just my number one.
Secretly, I like kind of want to go back to school to get an MBA, just to like say that I also have an MBA.
You just know.
Thanks,
exactly what to do. So thank you for that.
Thank you. I love you.
I love you too, sweetheart.
Well, guys, that's a wrap on me and Matka on today's episode. I'm so happy that you're here. You can say I'm so happy that you're here.
I'm so happy you're here.
If you guys want to follow along, you can find this podcast and all my other episodes everywhere that you get your podcasts. You can follow at the Anna Guide on Instagram or at Anna Exitar, which is my personal account. And then you can also watch these videos if you want the video version on YouTube, so you can see us in person. It's like you're sitting in my parents' living room with us. I didn't even mention that.
Yes.
The final moment of this episode I'm going to say is I hope this living room looks familiar, because this is actually where I started my social media channel from. Was living here with my mom and dad during COVID. So maybe the next time that we come in and we record together, we go to all my favorite spots that I started recording, because I would love to ask your opinion. I didn't even get to ask your opinion either about what it's like having a daughter who's on the internet all the time. So there's a few more questions that we have for Matka. I doubt this is her last time that she'll be on my podcast, but we're so lucky to get her for today. And I love you guys a lot, and I can't wait to see you next time. Have a great day. Bye.